Hello, Serendipity students and ladybugs. Miss Carla here, and I have a fun little book written by John Lithgow and illustrated by C.F. Payne that I really enjoy. It's called Micawber, and I usually like to read it when we're doing our artist unit, but I don't believe I read it this year, so I'm going to read it now. I hope you like it. Micawber. Here's a picture of Central Park in New York City. One Sunday in springtime, Micawber arose from his Central Park carousel nest. He straightened his whiskers and polished his nose and set off for the place he loved best. He scampered past pigeons and poodles and geese, past boathouse and bandshell and zoo, past joggers and skaters and mounted police to a palace on Fifth Avenue. For inside was a splendid collection of art, a sight for a squirrel to treasure, a feast every week for his eyes and his heart, which Micawber could savor at leisure. Through the windows he'd gaze at Van Dyck and Van Gogh, appraise every Rembrandt and Titian. He would scrutinize Rubens, peruse each Rousseau, inspect each Lautrec and Cassatt and Miro. He would find a new favorite each time he would go, and nobody charged him admission. But a stranger appeared this particular day as Micawber peered down through a skylight. She stood at an easel beneath a Monet that depicted a haystack at twilight. Micawber observed her for hours on end as she copied each texture and shade. He noted the stroke of each brush she'd extend, the rare concentration and care she'd expend. She'd become his unwitting and unknowing friend by the time the day started to fade. So he hid in the box where her paints were all stowed while she bicycled home unawares. Then he sneaked himself into her modest abode as she hauled her equipment upstairs. From the box after midnight the stowaway crept, stretched his limbs and adjusted his eyes, and while his beguiler contentedly slept, he rifled through all her supplies. Micawber's dull life, with its tedious toils, all at once seemed 100 times duller, as he straddled a palette and squeezed out some oils, and discovered the wonders of color. And there he is, he's looking so excited. I love that picture. He daubed at a canvas with cadmium green, employing his tail as a brush, then magenta, vermilion, ultramarine, alizarin crimson, and bright tangerine, such a radiant rainbow he never had seen, so splashy and lavish and lush. You can see he's using his tail like a paintbrush. By morning, Micawber was finally done, and so proud that he practically fainted. He'd been looking at paintings from day number 1, but never a painting he'd painted. As the sunlight poured in, he was ready to go, leaving everything just as he'd found it. Through the transom he scrambled, his canvas in tow, rolled up with a shoelace tied round it. And you can see she's woken up and she's looking at her shoe like, where did my shoelace go? A truck trundled by as Micawber alit. On the side it said Park Sanitation. He bounded aboard it, ignoring the grit, and completed his peregrination. There you can see him there hanging onto the back of the garbage truck. He returned 30 times by the following fall, and the paintings poured forth like a geyser. He fastened them all to his living room wall, and the woman was never the wiser. There he is in his little house with all his paintings rolled up. So if some July you should chance to pass by a Viridian Central Park dale, look around for a squirrel with a gleam in his eye and some paint on the tip of his tail. You can see the squirrels in the park, and there's Micawber there with the paint on his tail. And if you should visit the old carousel, look up at its uppermost part. Inside, although nobody ever could tell, a talented squirrel continues to dwell. If you try, you can picture it, clear as a bell. And you open it wide open. Micawber's Museum of Art. And here you can see, very difficult for me to see this. All right. And here's the pages, all the different animals looking at Micawber's art like they're at an art gallery. There he is greeting one of his friends. I hope you enjoyed this book, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.